Hey everybody, this is William Henry. This is my vlog for August 15th, 2011. Been away for a while. Claire and I had a chance to spend some time in France and England this summer doing research on the oil of the Christos, the anointing oil that transforms us into beings of light. Lots to report on that. Awesome photos in the Louvre, supporting evidence showing the ancient Egyptian use of this oil, among other things. Really cool images of the gods ascending into the heavens in vortexes. Love all that. But the reason we were in England was to give presentations at Stanborough Hall down in Devon. Sophie Partridge, Pete McDonald had us to their fabulous manor home out in the country. Had a wonderful time there. They've invited us back in November to come back to Stanborough Hall, give a presentation called The Energetic Ascension. Really looking forward to that. I'll have information on my website here shortly about that. That'll be the first weekend in November. Looking forward to seeing Pete and Sophie once again and everybody else down there in Totnes, Devon. Wonderful, wonderful place. Also, I was there to give a presentation at the Summer Lectures, which is Steve and Karen Alexander's wonderful crop circle conference. The Summer Lectures that they have every year was one of the presenters on Saturday, and had a chance to spend some time in the circles on Friday. We got into 3 crop circles. What a wonderful experience. I hope everybody has a chance to go to England, to Wiltshire, to get out in the countryside and finally really come to an understanding or a knowing of what Sting was talking about in Fields of Gold when he talked about walking through the fields of gold, the fields of barley, and feeling that just incredibly powerful spiritual sense that comes from the crop circles. My talk at the Summer Lectures was about the amazing, to me, wormhole symbolism that's been appearing in crop circles since 2006. This is one of the more curious aspects of the crop circle phenomena, and it makes me wonder if perhaps the crop circle makers are sending this wormhole imagery because this is A, how they travel through the cosmos, but also perhaps an indication of how the circles are actually made. My presentation was in part based on the work done by a physicist named John Kramer and also Arthur C. Clarke, who envisioned the possibility of a very advanced civilization living perhaps in another star system that utilize a high-energy particle accelerator to beam high-energy cosmic rays or particles to Earth in search of higher intelligence or awakened consciousness. And as these particles do their seeking, it's possible that they're able to open into the size of a wormhole that perhaps a visitor can pass through, or someone from this side could pass through to that star system. But it's also curious that when people have seen crop circles manifest, they've been preceded by these tiny balls of light. Could it be that these tiny balls of light are in fact these particles sent from another star system that are sent to seek out this intelligence, but also have the capability of ultimately manifesting the circles once they land in the crop field? Very interesting hypothesis, and I will certainly be following up on this theory in anticipation of returning to the circles in the summer of 2012. I'm very excited about this, and we'll have more news about that, and hope you all will be able to join us the summer of 2012 in Wiltshire. I recently interviewed Dr. Carmen Bolter on Revelations. I've met Carmen several years ago at Walter Cruttenden's CPAC conference, and we hit it off immediately. And we have a shared passion for the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, which I'll talk about in a moment. But Carmen came on Revelations to talk about a couple of very interesting and anomalous photographs that she had taken in Giza. The first was a green orb that she took at the Giza Plateau and shows it sort of landing on the apex of the Great Pyramid, almost as if it's the all-seeing eye. Very fascinating photo. But the one that really caught my attention was one that she had taken on 10-10-10. Again, we're at the Giza Plateau, and she takes these photos of what she describes as this chalice or wine glass that suddenly manifests in her photos, one she actually saw with her naked eye. When I looked at this photo, I said, wow, chalice, glass, grail? No, wormhole. But wait a minute, what if the Holy Grail is a wormhole? Talking about a revolution now. And this is what Carmen and I discussed, and I encourage you to hop over to unknowncountry.com and listen to my Revelations interview. You can also hear it on williamhenry.net. Carmen and I share a passion for the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, the Temple of Love and Joy, Hathor's temple. And we both feel incredibly privileged to be able to see, with all this amazing clarity, the images on the ceiling of this temple. For almost 2,000 years, This imagery has been covered in black soot and grime, but just a few years ago, the Egyptian antiquities people began cleaning the ceiling, revealing a masterpiece that, in our opinion, rivals the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo's masterpiece in the Vatican. What we see are these astonishing depictions of the gods sailing as light beings for eternity on the Ark of the Millions of Years, or the ships of eternity. You see these various, what appear to be other dimensional beings sailing upon these ships. As Carmen and I discussed for years, I've put out the connection that these ships actually resemble wormhole boats. And I've suggested that perhaps what's happening is that the reason why we're able to interpret this symbolism today is because we must be on the verge of being able to duplicate the feats or the accomplishments of the gods who inspired this imagery. I believe that we're on the verge of becoming a Stargate traveling, time traveling civilization, and I firmly believe that the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, the ceiling, has important secrets for us in this quest. Good news is Dr. Bolter and I have decided to collaborate on decoding this symbolism. We're getting to work on it immediately, and we'll have a report here soon on our findings, the very first ever true exploration of the secrets of the ceiling of the Temple of Hathor. So look for that later this fall. Finally, I was in Los Angeles on August 9th doing another round of interviews for Ancient Aliens. I love working with these guys. The producer I work with, Eric Murphy, is fantastic. He does a phenomenal amount of research. When I get the questions from these guys, you can really tell they have been hitting the books and they really care about this subject, and I believe it comes through with the program. So I've considered it an honor as well as a privilege to be able to be a part of this program. The first episode, 104, that I'll be in of the 16 of Season 3 airs on August the 18th, Thursday, August the 18th. It's the Temples of Gold episode. I'm also going to be involved in another on Peru and another on the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol, which I'm very much looking forward to. This time I did some interviews on the ancient Greek gods and also about cults, so we'll be looking forward to those episodes coming up later in the season. So I hope you all will tune in to Ancient Aliens, support the program, because they're really doing a fantastic job. And to me, this is like the ultimate form of disclosure. They are giving to us on a silver platter all this incredible information about our ancient alien contact. And once again, it's just a real privilege to be a part of that. So that's my vlog for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Until then, be well.